I fall anywhere with her side.
There's a lot of new information going on in this Nolan Wells case, y'all. Did y'all know one of the boys is trying to sell a boat online? Who is selling the boat Nolan was on? And this is why I was so mad at the people in Mississippi. Because they are dragging their feet, taking their time. This whole time, you got people out here trying to sell evidence and shit. Not only that, we got the Nolan Wells family. They are hiring an audio engineer. Not saying that there was anything wrong with Janetta Brantley's work. I believe they're just trying to get a record and shut these people up that have been saying the work she put in was falsified. On top of that, J. Megan, the pretty pink panda, just dropped some crazy bombshell, devastating information about another friend group that could be associated with Nolan Wells. Another boat, another relationship. Y'all ain't gonna want to miss this one right here, y'all. But before we start, y'all make sure y'all get them likes up. Y'all make sure y'all hit the hype button and make sure you subscribing to the channel. For those in the back, subscribe.
T and L. As you can see, L clearly has the same kind of hair texture that's in the bottom of this picture. We know that these two were together on 4th of July, and T did not one, but two Nolan tributes after his body was found. Now, another one of their friends had a reel, which they did a little panning video on the best 4th of July ever. And who was in that video? Well, that looks to me to be Jacob, Kendall's longtime boyfriend. So it seems confirmation to me that both Kendall and her boyfriend were on this boat the entire day. Now that I have found this group of friends, I was scouring the pictures and I found this. We've got Elle with somebody I immediately recognized because I remembered that swimsuit, and they tried to hide this picture in a document dump so you didn't know what day it was. Well, if it isn't Nevaeh.
Oh, she back! She back!
Same swimsuit, same belly ring, and there she is, clearly earlier in the day with Kendall, clearly on the same boat. And just in case you didn't see my video on the Tube of You yesterday, or just need a reminder, here was the friend group breakdown that I had. But to me, this seemingly clearly confirms that these two were on this boat probably all day. I say this because there's another picture from the summer with Nevaeh with the little pink cup right here. You can see the pink cup in the lap of Kendall up here, along with the matching, poles and this, all of it matches. Now, I want to go back to this picture because in the background there, we see somebody seemingly approaching the group to join them to go out in red shorts. And y'all know that I've been saying for a while that in my humble opinion, I believe that the person in red shorts is Warren's brother. But now I also think there's a strong possibility that it could be Lainey's boyfriend, Drew. Just as further confirmation, these glasses match the glasses that are in the Katie Snapchat. I think it's pretty safe to say that we definitely found the people that were on the boat with Katie. Now here's where it gets a little interesting to me though. Look at how late in the day this picture seems to be taken. And they clearly were still out at night. So did they drop everybody else off? Did they come back out? Got a lot of unknowns here, but I did my social media scour. And let me explain to you what I found. So we've got L and T on the boat with Kendall and Nevaeh, like we've confirmed that. We also know at some point Katie was on the boat with them as well. T was the only one that seemed to be connected to Nolan on social media. Now, remember how the person who released the Snapchat pictures of Katie said that they were not friends with her? Well, I found that T was actually connected to a lot of people social media-wise, whether they were following her or she was following them. I was able to find Javon. I was able to find Ava D, the girl from the party. I was able to find the entire Hudson family, as well as Katie, Lainey, Trin, Ava, all of the other friend group, the core group that I talked about yesterday. And I found out that L was either following or was followed by Ava, Jax, and Bart. Now here's the real kicker. When I went to T's Book of Face page, I found...
Yo, let me get the real deal, Holyfield. The real deal, Holyfield on the mic. Let me get my girl on here. Yeah. I'm finna hold up one second. Let me get it from the horse's mouth.
Turned me on to this picture, and as y'all can see, we've got a match with the necklace and the swimsuit. Think I busted out my glasses and red lipstick just for the swimsuit? Nah. Now, as I talked about yesterday, we've all suspected that this is Kendall for a while now. The identity of this curly-haired girl has always eluded us. Well, not anymore, folks. For now, I'm going to just refer to these girls
Your mama.
as T and L. As you can see, L clearly has the same kind of hair texture that's in the bottom of this picture. We know that these two were together on 4th of July, and T did not one, but two Nolan tributes after his body was found. Now, another one of their friends had a reel, which they did a little panning video on the best 4th of July ever. And who was in that video? Well, that looks to me to be J.
Shout out to X and shout out to Facebook. YouTube people can kiss my ass. Your mama dumb. How about that?
Jacob, Kendall's longtime boyfriend. So it seems confirmation to me that both Kendall and her boyfriend were on this boat the entire day. Now that I have found this group of friends, I was scouring the pictures and I found this. We've got Elle with somebody I immediately recognized because I remembered that swimsuit, and they tried to hide this picture in a document dump so you didn't know what day it was. Well, if it isn't Nevaeh.
Oh, she back! She back!
Same swimsuit, same belly ring, and there she is, clearly earlier in the day with Kendall. Clearly on the same boat. And just in case you didn't see my video on the tube of you yesterday, or just need a reminder, here was the friend group breakdown that I had. But to me, this seemingly clearly confirms that these two were on this boat probably all day. I say this because there's another picture from the summer with Nevaeh with the little pink cup right here. You can see the pink cup in the lap of Kendall up here, along with the match.
Do they do not understand how invested the community is on these cases, that they're railroading people, trying to convict them and everything else? Do they not understand how this case is affecting nationwide? Like Mississippi is up.
Watching, polls and this, all of it matches. Now, I want to go back to this picture because in the background there, we see somebody seemingly approaching the group to join them to go out in red shorts. And y'all know that I've been saying for a while that, in my humble opinion, I believe that the person in red shorts is Warren's brother. But now I also think there's a strong possibility that it could be Lainey's boyfriend, Drew. Just as further confirmation, these glasses match the glasses that are in the Katie Snapchat. I think it's pretty safe to say that we definitely found the people that were on the boat with Katie. Now here's where it gets a little interesting to me, though. Look at how late in the day this picture seems to be taken. And they clearly were still out at night. So did they drop everybody else off? Did they come back out? Got a lot of unknowns here, but I did my social media scour. And let me explain to you what I found. So we've got L and T on the boat with Kendall and Nevaeh, like we've confirmed that. We also know at some point Katie was on the boat with them as well. T was the only one that seemed to be connected to Nolan on social media. Now, remember how the person who released the Snapchat pictures of Katie said that they were not friends with her? Well, I found that T was actually...
I do believe that they are doing something, right? They got more information that I think that we know. However, they are happy that we are helping and assisting on the internet by sharing, putting information to give them thoughts. Trump is a civil attorney, so therefore they're gonna kick in when the lawsuit kick in. They have attorneys now that are serving people right now and serving companies. They're serving the companies to put, all their data on hold from the children on down. They also just hired a audio forensic just as well to test, I guess to, have a solidify a person who has the license, I guess, for the audio stuff, right? So they're doing what they're supposed to do. You got to give her a little grace. The lady, this is something new to her. Obviously, I believe it's her oldest son. I mean, you have to get the right people, because literally the attorneys alleged they quit. They hired a black attorney. Obviously, he must be good. He stepped in. He's kicking ass. Like, like sometimes you hire an attorney, he don't want to do shit. You know what I mean? All those people, you got to be careful when you get these attorneys, because you got to understand they shoot golf together, they eat together, they all are effing friends, especially in these smaller towns. So you do have to always hire someone within the state, but outside of the state, that don't mind going toe to toe with these folks. You know what I mean?
Connected to a lot of people social media wise, whether they were following her or she was following them. I was able to find Javon. I was able to find Ava D, the girl from the party. I was able to find the entire Hudson family, as well as Katie, Lainey, Trin, Ava, all of the other friend group, the core group that I talked about yesterday. And I found out that Elle was either following or was followed by Ava, Jax, and Bart. Now here's the real kicker. When I went to T's Book of Face page, I found out that she was FB friends with not only Warren's mom, but Bart's mom as well, and several other adults that are close friends with that mom group. And I also found out that Lainey and Nevaeh are both friends with the older McGrath brother, but it seems like he was in Texas at the time, so most likely he was not on the boat or around for this. However, he does have a younger brother who is friends with T on social media. And that makes me wonder if the younger McGrath brother might have been on that boat. Now remember, Lainey said that she was not on Horn Island. She was with a different group of friends on a different island altogether. But now I'm wondering if this boat, this group, might have been the other group that they got into the altercation with. Because remember, they specifically said that they knew the guy, like knew of him, but they weren't like friends with him. Because does nobody else think it's weird that whoever else they were fighting on the beach hasn't come forward? Especially if they were people that didn't really know these people? But could this boat have been the fourth boat that we've seen? Because if this is the same red shorts guy, then how did he get onto the other boat?
Do y'all hear this? Do y'all understand what is going on? Do y'all understand what this is about? You know what I mean? I had to take a day off yesterday because I was extremely tired. Extremely tired. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. Family adds. Okay, they add a new attorney. Okay, let's see.
Thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. For sort of business, like and thumbs up. It should be at the top, pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you hit the like and thumbs up because it does affect the algorithm and it's very important to our show. So welcome. Come on in, everyone. Let me know where you're streaming from as usual. And we want to discuss something that's happening with, look, we have the former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is now the gubernatorial candidate. Democratic gubernatorial candidate in Georgia. Now we have her on the show a little bit later, so you don't want to miss that. We're going to interview her. We're going to talk about what's going on there. We're going to talk about what's happening nationally. And we're also going to talk about Nolan Wells with her, because that's where I want to start with this morning. The Nolan Wells family has added a new attorney to their case. And as we had promised, we're going to continue to follow this story. We're going to continue to ask questions and to get answers and to bring you updates on what is going on with this story. So they're adding a new local attorney. He is speaking out. Here's the report.
A metro area attorney is now part of Nolan Wells' family's legal team. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams has more on his role in the case.
Nearly 2 months now since his body was found on Horn Island, and we're no closer to finding out what happened to Nolan Wells. The family has added some new legal firepower with a local attorney joining the legal team.
I think it helps to have somebody local who's, from the soil, somebody that, is kind of familiar with the terrain, with the people.
Jackson criminal defense attorney Ahmad Smith signed on 3 weeks ago. Smith will assist National Civil Rights Attorney Ben Crump, along with the NAACP Office of Legal Counsel, working on an independent investigation. Many, including Wells' parents, have raised serious questions about how law enforcement authorities on the Gulf Coast are handling the investigation.
They've spoken out publicly often enough to suggest that they have some skepticism about the way that this process has played out.
Wells' body was found washed up on the water 2 days after he and a group of friends set off on a boat from Ocean Springs to Horn Island on 4th of July. Smith says the cases are the attention from around the world. Some are worried about a cover-up.
There have been instances where Black bodies have been found floating in Mississippi waters in mysterious circumstances. So people naturally harken back to some of that history.
Smith says he spoke with Wells' parents last week during a gathering for what would have been his 19th birthday.
While they're grieving, their disposition to me seems to be one that is hopeful. They're trusting the team that they've amassed.
Smith believes an independent investigation is indispensable because he says you can't always trust the information coming from state prosecutors will be accurate. He says sometimes they may not have the knowledge or the resources. Sometimes they will simply miss something. Reporting from Jackson, Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
All right.
Smith says that they're getting so many tips that they set up this 800 number that you see on your screen specifically for tips and more information in this case.
That was 1-800-991. Was it 1972? Was that right? Or is it
1772?
1772. Okay. So there is the reporting coming from the local news organization. And now I want to bring in our Washington, D.C. correspondent, Daniel Grimes, who is covering this story this morning for us. Daniel, have you learned any more information? I think it is a smart idea to have a local attorney there, considering the attorneys, Benjamin Crump, whatever, they're not local attorneys, capable attorneys, but not local attorneys.
Yeah. So, Don, I mean, hiring a local attorney comes with several benefits. I mean, they are on the ground, so they know the characters. Ahmad Smith has been working with local prosecutors and the team there for a while now. So he knows, all of the people in play. He also can actually do things that Ben Crump, as a national attorney, cannot do. He can file petitions in court without needing some sort of ad hoc permission that a national attorney like Ben Crump needs. And also, we all know Ben Crump's schedule is just very busy. I mean, he has a lot of cases that he's overseeing right now. And so having that local attorney who can be hyper local and hyper fixated on Nolan Wells' case is going to just be able to help the family get answers sooner.
Yeah. And the last info that we had, and we reported on this, I think it was yesterday or Monday, was that the attorneys for the young men who were with Nolan on Horn Island, they have sent out, their attorneys have sent out a letter of intent to sue the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Yes. So they have, they sent Al Sharpton a 19-page notice of intent to file a lawsuit. They are claiming that Sharpton made several defamatory statements against those three men by insinuating that they had something to do with Nolan's death. And in that, they've cited two instances, the vigil that took place on Nolan's birthday, and also the earlier in July, an incident where Al Sharpton said, where is the phone? He gave an interview to TMZ and just kind of questioned why they would have had Nolan's phone. The attorneys for those young men say those statements potentially rose to the level of being defamatory, and they are now saying that Sharpton, the Reverend Al Sharpton, needs to apologize and retract those statements, or they will sue him. And as I said on Monday, Don, Al Sharpton says, bring it on, because he knows that if they go into discovery, that there are going to be things they're going to have to release that they haven't released yet, right? When you go into the discovery process in court, you've got to, under oath, tell things, say things, describe the day in detail that, let's just say you're going to on a former officer's show that we will not talk about. You can say whatever on that, right? Because you're not under oath. If you go through the discovery process, you are then under oath. You've got to make sure everything you're saying is true, and you're going into detail. So the Reverend Al Sharpton said, bring it on, because you all want to go through discovery. You're going to help us get answers sooner.
So let's talk some politics. That is your bailiwick. You are in Washington, D.C. Someone who could, have an office there and a possible residence. We're not sure if it's going to be, maybe it'll be her brother's residence. Maybe she'll move in. We have no idea. But we're talking about Darlene Graham, who's the sister of the late Lindsey Graham, appointed really by Donald Trump, and Republicans approved her taking over the seat on an interim basis until the election. Well, there was an election held last night, at least the primary election.
We not caring about that on this channel right now. We'll be talking about that in the next month, September, October. At least October, we'll get into the business when it comes down to electing people and, trying to figure out who you should vote for and who you shouldn't vote for, right? So okay, he said footage is missing. Let me see what he's talking about.
And these people, the authorities who were supposed to be searching for the body, how they missed the body. Well, I think I figured it out with the friends. The friends were not there. They weren't part of the search party. They was not there. They were allegedly at home, asleep or something, Somebody even said that they were at some point eating lunch or something at a restaurant or something, while the search teams are out searching for the body of their friend. Something else that I find very peculiar, right? So Nolan Wells' father said that he and a high school buddy, and I believe he said a coach or somebody, and his wife, Christine, they all went out on a boat. They went out there. Well, let me back up. They went to the island, and they had two teams. They broke up into two teams. One team searched one end of the island. The other team searched the other end of the island. So they was essentially the first search teams out on Horn Island looking for Nolan Wells, right? They say they searched both ends of Horn Island. Nolan was nowhere in sight. Next thing you know, Cajun Navy shows up, and voila, they got the body. They see the body in the same place that Nolan Wells' parents, or at least their friends, had already allegedly searched. Did I tell y'all that there were rumors out there that Nolan's body was suspected of being dumped? Cajun Navy.
Cajun Navy.
Nolan's former friends, these three white boys, and their lawyer, Little Eddie and Little Tyler, want you to think that they are suing Al Sharpton. Little Eddie and Little Tyler are not suing Al Sharpton. These two lawyers are frauds and grifters. And I am going to tell you exactly what they are up to. And when I am done exposing the two fraud lawyers, I'm going to show you a new photo that was allegedly taken July the 4th during the CETO call. I also have an update on Nolan's phone. I would like to remind you that both deadlines, Christine's and the DA's, have passed. There has been some very significant developments in the Nolan Xavier Wells case in the past 48 hours. Sit back, relax. I'll tell you everything you need to know, and then I'll hand it off to you, the Out Louders. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Massive exclusive. Al Sharpton to be served with a 19-page pre-document defamation demand. Attorneys call him a human circus and throw his own words back at him. You asked for it, now you got it. Some of you may have seen this Twitter post circulating around Friday or over the weekend from Sarah Fields. For those of you who don't know who Sarah Fields is the new talking mouthpiece for the alt-right MAGA movement, replacing Officer Tatum. I think like he's been benched. This is just all ridiculousness. Massive exclusive. Give me a break. Y'all are in cohorts talking. You didn't like get any sort of massive breaking news, okay? You'll see now that she put underneath here the thread that I'm going to show you where it comes from. I have exclusively obtained a brutal 19-page pre-suit defamation demand dated today, August the 21st, 2026, from attorneys Edward, Andrew, and, well, we call them here Little Eddie and Little Tyler on behalf of Warren, Jax, and Morgan. Now, let me show you what else happened. Here is Little Eddie's tweet. We are serving Al Sharpton with a powerhouse and urgently necessary 19-page pre-suit demand letter. Basically, in other words, it's a letter. It means absolutely nothing, but hold up, let me cook. Together with my colleague and friend, Little Tyler, I will hold accountable to the maximum extent of the law all individuals who defame completely innocent young men, Warren, Jax, and Morgan. We will restore their good names without bias, fear, or hesitation for all the Gibson Go money. He's acting like, oh, this is my friends I'm sending up, bro. You're getting paid like crazy for this, okay? From Warren's father, who's a doctor, and their mom, the Gibson Go, and whatever money is being funneled in by MAGA and all of this crap, okay? It's just ridiculous. Anyways, you'll see here that he retweeted Sarah Fields. And then, of course, the internet picked it up, and then you saw posts like this. Al Sharpton's face plastered right beside the beginning of the demand letter. And for my daily listeners, you know that we are not going to read anything of this pre-lawsuit demand letter because that's exactly what they want us to do. But before I even get back to the letter, because I do have it, I took out like 6 or 7 pages. I'm going to show you just to show you really what they're up to. But let me show you first and read to you the real things that we should be concerned about, and that's Al Sharpton's response. You'll see Al Sharpton literally like within 1 hour of this coming out. You'll see here it says Al Sharpton's response to potential litigation against him in the Nolan Wells case. New York, August 21st, 2026. I welcome the lawsuit, and I have had my attorneys be in touch with theirs to arrange for them to serve me so that we can get it in court, okay? I convened a prayer visual on what would have been Nolan's 19th birthday, and 3 of the young men joined the Zoom, and I asked them to come forward. While I did not know their names, so I did not defame them, we have the right and duty to raise questions that were raised to me by Nolan's parents. From the onset of this case, I publicly stated that I welcome any litigation that would legally require every person that was with Nolan Wells before his passing to be forced to answer questions under oath. Litigation requires deposition, discovery, and complete examination of the facts. That is what's most important here, okay? But hold up. I have been involved in the case for one sole reason, to help Nolan's parents, Christine and Elmore, find the truth in what happened to their beloved son through a transparent and accountable investigation. If a lawsuit is a catalyst for the truth, then it is welcome and it will not deter National Action Network or me from continuing to stand with the family in their pursuit for justice. Okay, let me get to the letter and show you guys a couple of things. Now, as promised, I always do my due diligence and show you guys each side. If you guys would like to pause and read for yourself, please, by all means, go ahead. But I am not going to be used by Little Eddie and Little Tyler to get out their message. This is exactly what they want content creators to do. This is exactly also why they put it out Friday afternoon when any major news organization is done for the weekend. They want to get content creators to read this out to taint the jury pool. This has not been seen by a judge, hasn't been put in front of a judge. There's no case number. There is nothing. Their own words say pre-lawsuit. You could say whatever you want and title a letter whatever you want. It does not make it anything official. This is a piece of paper with words on it. That's all it is, and a signature. Because there's a letterhead and because y'all are lawyers, it means nothing. It's literally chicken scratches. Literally, like a kindergartner could have just typed the blah, 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 and signed it. That's exactly what it is. Now, the details of the letter is them presenting their case. It's a way for them to get out their narrative of what happened without having to follow any sort of legal jurisdiction or any sort of rules, because there's no metadata, there's no proof, there's no nothing. So you're going to see pictures in here and you're going to see narratives that you could read if you would like, but it's literally them saying Morgan, Jax, and Warren are innocent. They didn't do anything. They didn't tamper with the phone. They wouldn't do this or whatever. Yeah, that's easy to say in a letter, not as easy to say in the court of law when you're under oath. You see what they're doing here? So for them to get this out, this is the new way how to taint the jury pool. It's 2026. Everybody gets their news from TikTok, Instagrammers, YouTubers, etc. So this is what they're doing. They want us to sit down and be like, hey, we got this damning lawsuit, massive exclusive. Oh my gosh. And YouTubers and stuff will sit down and read it and read all of that stuff to you. And whether you believe it or not, it goes back in your like mental Rolodex. And not every single person is overly invested in knowing the truth. Most people see headlines. They're like, oh my gosh, they sued Al Sharpton. No, it is a pre-demand letter that if Al doesn't do certain things, he is going to be sued for defamation. He answered you guys back 1 hour later that was like, I am doing nothing. Let's go to court right now. That's why I didn't rush to do this. It's been 48 hours. Where's the lawsuit, bro? Come on, what are you talking about? You told him that you wanted demands. He answered you within an hour, and he's like, bring it. And it's been 48 hours and you haven't brought it. And don't tell me it was because it was the weekend, all right? Because it's midday Monday. If you guys are really about that life, you would have brought it already. But you won't. Because like Al said, is that you don't want to be deposed, you don't want to sit down, and you don't want to say these things in this letter under oath, because it is a very drastic difference, the things that you could say on a piece of paper than sitting down in a courtroom in front of a judge that can and will be used against you in the court of law, okay? All right, so couple of things also, like I made some calls, you know what I'm saying? Some people in some camps that we know that may be involved in here says, this is nothing but a piece of paper. No one cares. This is not a legal document, not filed in court. No judge has seen this. This is a piece of paper with words on it, etc., etc., etc. Nobody in the camp, in any camps, are afraid of little Eddie or little Tyler. I could guarantee you that unequivocally. Nobody, and I'm not going to name names, just y'all know the camp that, you know, I like to say that I'm the mouthpiece for. No one is afraid of you over here, bro. Nobody. Only thing that you have been doing since we heard of little Eddie and little Tyler is talking on Chris Cuomo, talking on Nancy Grace, talking with Officer Tatum. Notice something. Every time I talk to you about the opposition, all they're doing is running their mouth, sitting down with Tatum, running their mouth, doing the three-part interviews. If you remember at the beginning of all this, disconnected their Instagram, lawyered up. You didn't hear nothing from these guys. They sit down, forge a plan. Don't forget, Warren's stepmom's a judge, okay? She knows everything. So takes a couple of days, sets up everything, and then all of a sudden.
Okay, you guys, we're going to switch up a little bit, make this a little spicy. They have breaking news. Let's see what they're talking about on YouTube. You guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share the live just as well. Let's comment. Let's see what your thoughts are, because this is getting crazier and crazier, and we have to constantly fight.
Piece of information regarding the Nolan Wells investigation. Over the last couple of days, you've heard me say that the family is waiting for the district attorney to get in touch with them to schedule that joint investigation and cell phone extraction. We just found out on August 13th, which was literally just 2 days ago, that said District Attorney McElrath of the Jackson County, Mississippi, decided to send another letter to the family stating, you have 48 hours to drop off the cell phone.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry. Is that the same thing as a joint investigation? Words are, you have 48 hours to drop off the cell phone, or you have 48 hours to, possess the cell phone for us. Is that the same thing as saying we're going to have a joint investigation? Don't you worry. I'm going to show you the letter right now. Here is the actual letter sent from A.R. Smith, the same attorney that sent out the letter on August 11th. I want to point your attention to right here. To date, Nolan's parents remain willing to facilitate an appropriate forensic examination of Nolan Wells' phone, including FBI involvement, according to our agreement on July 15th. However, your letter sent to Eric Hertz on August 12th at 12:51 p.m. set a deadline for Wednesday to deliver the phone to your office by August 14th at 9 a.m. This is not practical for a number of reasons. Now, that's a 2-page letter. I just showed you one of the excerpts. But the reason why it's not practical is 2 big reasons. And again, this is in that actual letter if you guys want to look it up. The first reason was that you agreed that there would be a joint investigation into the cell phone extraction investigation. But you're saying you need to drop the phone off at the office on August 14th at 9 a.m. That doesn't strike me as a joint investigation. That strikes me as give us the phone, we'll go through it, and then we'll get back to you later. The second reason why it's impractical is because at the time, the Wells family was actually nowhere near Mississippi or nowhere near an area where they could actually drop it off and be compliant with that deadline. So those are the 2 main reasons why. Now, again, you guys can read the letter yourself, but this now makes sense. This is why the family is so concerned, and this is why the family is so upset. Because the DA now is essentially going back on what they said, saying, we want you to drop off the phone on August 14th, when on July 15th, they said, we will do a joint investigation together. This is why the Wells family is so frustrated with this investigation. And this is why they're trying to get the Department of Justice involved. This is why all the leadership are getting involved in this, is because the family was under the expectation that the district attorney in Jackson County, Mississippi, was going to do a joint investigation based on the July 15th.
That's where this next piece of footage becomes especially interesting. The video being played here is being examined because it appears to show several people gathered around the boats during the timeline being discussed.
The reason why Jax looks like he can't no longer take this is because Jax actually had a relationship with Nolan Wells, and Jax seen what happened firsthand. And he's being forced to keep his mouth shut to protect his younger brother, allegedly. I can guarantee you, and I can bet you any amount of money, Jax tried to stop him, and he couldn't because he is not as strong or as big as these other boys. Jax is also the weakest link, and Warren knows that. Jack has to keep quiet because of all the connections that Warren and his mother have. You got to shut up. You got to be quiet because his future's at jeopardy. His family might not be as wealthy, not saying that they broke, not saying, but when I mean by wealthy, I mean wealthy and connected as Warren's mama is, because she's a judge. Ain't no telling what type of dirt that Warren and them people got on his people. See how you got to start looking at things? He looks terrified. He looks like he was threatened. He looked like he was told what to say. And that's why Warren is watching him so closely. I want to make sure you're saying everything that I told you to say before we got up here. Don't say nothing else.
The commentary focuses on the positions of the boats, who appears to be on board, and whether the footage matches the accounts that have already been given. One of the biggest questions raised is why Nolan was allegedly told to get back onto the boat while there were claims that the boat was experiencing problems.
This was just sent to me in my inbox, and then I was quite shocked. I was like, holy crap. So then that's whose page it's on, but she said that she's not the original poster. And then when you click in the comments, she says that she's trying to find the original poster. Holy camole. What do you guys think about that?
That's right. I've gotten my 4th one. Normally I just re-record it. It was like a 9-minute video, y'all. I don't have the bandwidth today. It's pretty much the same. It's just Nerdy Pink Panda 00. I tag myself in the comment section, so make sure y'all like and interact that. Kind of accidentally walk myself into a theory. is going to be my last video for a couple of days to give myself a chance to recharge, unless something absolutely insane comes out. And all right, after this, I'm probably going to take a couple days off because my brain needs a rest after the last couple of days. Now we know for sure that there was storage in the bow of the boat. All right, so now at this point, I am pretty sure that the Triton was there all day. They didn't switch out the boats. And I'm also pretty certain at this point that this is a real video because there's one single frame where you can see Bart's boat and you can also see the toes of somebody like dangling them off the water. So if the picture or video were AI, it would be a really bizarre thing for it to just kind of throw in. But there's zero question in my mind that this video has been altered. So then the question becomes, why would they alter this video? And the only thing that logically makes sense to me is to alter the identity of the two girls. Because if Carter is the boy in red, Wyatt is the boy in the American shorts, Bart's brother Brooke being the one in the navy blue shorts, and then Ike being the one in the teal shorts. Then we've got Warren up here with somebody in this red striped swimsuit and the girl in the teal swimsuit with the backwards hat. So in this picture, this would be Brooks, this would be Ike, this would be Wyatt, this would be Warren, which would leave this to be Carter. Now, whoever this is seems to be very cuddly with Carter. Like too cuddly, in my opinion, for it to be like a mother or a family member. Thinking about it a lot from the timeline that we have been told. And what we haven't really been factoring in again is the party. Because remember, Warren said he went to the party, but instead of talking with all of his friends, he went upstairs to go talk with his girlfriend's dad. Now, those families are tight. So if that dad of Ava, if that conversation with the dad didn't happen, then they would automatically know that they were lying. So I've been saying for a while that the girl was somehow involved. And mind you, everybody's back on land now. They're getting ready to do the fireworks and everybody's swimming and drinking still, blah, blah, blah. So what's the excuse for no pictures at that party? They've explained it all away during the day, but at this point, they're all just being teenagers and having fun again, right? So I'm thinking that the brunette girl is Ava, the girl whose house they went to. And she's pretty close with Warren and the Pyrone family.
And they're full speed running. And then after that, I didn't see them anymore. I think you were on the boat. You start from there? Yeah, so after we planed off, Wyatt kept the boat pinned the whole way in. We ran into the mouth of Fort Bayou, where we came from originally. And we turned into Fort Bayou, went in the channel, ran probably 500, 600 yards into Fort Bayou. Wyatt had jumped out of the boat, put the plug back in the boat so access water. So water didn't keep pushing and filling back the boat.
According to their own words, they went into the mouth and then they turned and they went about 500-600 feet. Now, mind you, the party house is right around, but they go past it and then loop back around. However, Warren just admitted that at some point they had to stop and Wyatt jumped in. And even then, you heard him stuttering over the story. Like it wasn't a smooth transition because I think they dropped her off. Which would explain why they would go back to this party, because obviously they can't cancel the party. That looks really suspicious. Then my theory has always been that the guys all like broke off and like talked to the parents about what was going on. And that's when they formulated their whole, we'll call her and then we'll call the Coast Guard plan. Remember, she is related. Somehow I can't figure out, but she is related through marriage to the lieutenant that wrote up the very initial report we've seen. Because remember how Morgan claimed that the picture of the boat stuff was circulating around Snapchat and stuff, even though Christine didn't post it to her Facebook page until the next day. Listen to this.
His mom was, what was he wearing? And so we were trying to remember what color his shorts were. We couldn't quite figure that out.
I said black.
I think we said black.
I really did. He was wearing navy blue shorts?
Yeah, it was like dark blue shorts.
Dark. I just said black because I was trying to piece everything together and help out.
And so at this point, we're freaking out. We don't know where our friend's at. And the girl that took the picture, she was like, okay, well, I just took this picture of today. This is what color swim trunks he was wearing. And his mom asked for that to post on Facebook to say, if you've seen him, whatever, this is what he was wearing.
So remember, the girl who took the picture with the digital camera was on Wyatt's boat at the beginning of the day and then was there with them at night when they were having this discussion. So she had to have been there at the beginning and at the party at the very least. Then we remembered that the original shorts picture, well, that wasn't the color of his shorts, as we now know. So we also know for a fact that this picture did not get sent to Christine until July 5th, meaning that they had to have had that picture and then not sent it to her for hours. Because they also said this.
And so that's what we sent to her, or that's what she sent to her, because we're just trying.
So they corrected themselves. He said, we sent it. No, she sent it.
Or that's what she sent to her, because we're just trying.
So they corrected themselves. He said, we sent it. No, she sent it. And on July 5th, Christine said that they have been up for almost 48 hours straight. And then the very next post above it are the same pictures, but better quality. Why did it take so long to get these pictures to them? Oh, and y'all, now that I said that, I realize, so all of these pictures had to come from the same digital camera, right? Meaning this picture did as well. And since I've already proven that this picture had used AI to do something weird because, you know, there was no little bar here, only explanation for using AI on just this little part would be to obscure the reflection that was in this poll of the person who was taking the video, or the pictures. Oh my God, yes. That makes sense. Love it when I figure that stuff out in real time for you on camera. So it makes sense to me that this photo video thing was altered to cover up this girl's swimsuit. Because let's face it, this swimsuit is the ugliest thing. It has like supposedly like sleeves and it's a tankini, but it goes like in a weird cut, but it's ugly. It's ugly and it's clearly not what these debutante beauty queen girls are wearing to a 4th of July beach party. So I'm like 70% sure that this is Ava. Oh, wait. Oh my God. Wait a second. Shown y'all guys before that there's 4 boats out here, this little cluster, right? But I'm looking at these weird pink lumps and stuff at the front of the boat, Bart's boat here. Is that a pile of life vests? Because I'm realizing there's not 20, 30 people on all of these boats. Like I'm seeing 10, 12 people here tops. Let's not forget what a full house looks like on these boats. Because even in this video at the meetup place, there's not 20, 30 people getting ready to get on these boats. I mean, the boat left at 9:56, according to the GPS. We got like 7, 8 people here, like 6 people here. And also, if they were legitimately needing to be towed and they were trying to get the water to run off, why are they all spread out on the boat? Why are they on the boat in general? Why didn't they just get off on land or get on another boat? Trying to get the boat to tip up and go planing. Why do you have over half the boat on the front of the boat? These are experienced fucking fishermen. They know better than that. Yeah, I can't believe I've never thought of that before. If the boat was sinking, why are they even on the fucking boat? Yeah, and if it was so common and so easy to get, you know, rides back with other people, you know, strangers on Horn Island, why did they need to load everybody on the boat? Yelling at Nolan to get on the boat. They didn't need to get him on the boat. And now that I'm looking at this, doesn't it look like Warren is on the phone? Could this have been when he was calling his mom 8 times? Also, one more thing that stuck out to me.
We called law enforcement. I was with Wyatt at the time after we left Jackson's house that night. I was with Wyatt and we one person we were with saw that their location was headed towards Wyatt's house. And so Wyatt got on the phone with 911 and was like, hey, these people are on the way to my house or already at my house. My mom and my dad are there alone and they know nothing about this.
So he stumbled over his words from beginning to end in that story, so I don't believe any of it. But the one thing that sticks out to me was the phrasing, they don't know anything about this. If people are heading over to your house, why wouldn't you call your mom and dad before you called 911? Because it sounded like he was trying to keep his parents out of the loop of this story, which as a teenage boy implies that you have something to hide.
The discussion also points to a reported confrontation involving Nolan and Warren, including claims that Nolan wanted his phone back. But there's another detail that makes the footage even more important. The possibility that images or video connected to that day may have been altered or edited.
Javon sure came for you in the comment section, didn't he?
5 other people that also left their phones on the boat, and we had to wait at the boat launch to come and pick them up, including Javon. I mean, Javon left his phone on our boat.
That man says, stop lying. You're doing too much. And I think that is the problem. This is why y'all keep doing these interviews and it's not helping any of you guys. Y'all lies are catching up with you. And this is the funny part. And I'm gonna keep bringing this up because I loved how you paint the narrative that because Miss Christine posted the picture of what Nolan had on that day and you guys were included, you guys made yourself relevant because at per the CETO call, we were only interested or paying attention to several other people, but you continuously, even in this video, are making yourself relevant. But I guess y'all thought Javon was scared or nervous or he wasn't afraid to speak, but eventually everyone else will get like that. They'll start being honest about what really happened. I love how Javon is coming for y'all because y'all not about to play with Javon, he said, okay?
Just to clarify, what the agreement was that the DA's office and this is the Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, we're going to together download and examine the phone. So it's done one time with everybody together, right? This is very common in the law. I mean, what you all may be more used to is when there's a terrible car accident, and then there's an examination of that car, and everybody comes together one time. They don't move that car around, and everybody does their own thing. This is what is supposed to happen. We are waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our forensics team and anybody else, but it's done one time, one examination.
Certain visual details don't seem to line up with the timeline and questions whether someone's identity may have been obscured. None of these theories, however, should be treated as proven facts. They are allegations and interpretations based on footage, statements, and information circulating online. And that is exactly why this video is being scrutinized so closely.
Sorry for that.
The Nolan Wells case is raising new questions after a recording surfaced that appears to capture police communications from the night Nolan went missing. The clip begins with officers discussing a potential missing person situation, while also mentioning that they were heading toward a judge's residence.
Negative. We're en route for the judge's house now. You said y'all.
Hello, everybody. This is stuff is getting crazy. It's getting crazy by the day, y'all. Hello. This stuff getting crazy by the day. For real, for real. I'm trying to see how I'm gonna end the day with. Let me see. This 21 hours ago. Let's see.
Breaking news, y'all. As I was making the video, I was scrolling. Breaking news, y'all. Go ahead and get ready to screenshot. Go ahead and get ready to screen record, because you know when information like this come out, they're gonna try to erase it. Y'all brace yourself. They saying Nolan Wells, there's a picture with Nolan Wells on the boat with Bart. Bart said he wasn't there. He was in Wyoming some damn where. I'm telling y'all, it's starting to unfold. The Most High is starting to move on this case. Y'all check this out. This is breaking news, y'all. This wasn't even a part of the video.
Hey, I just got back in and bombshell. Why we have a photo of Nolan with Bart and a large group of people. And I'm just going to show you real quick because I have questions. Hold on. Let's look.
All right, let's examine this, y'all. Let's examine this right here. This is breaking news. That must be Bart right there. What in the world is going on? A large group of friends, including Nolan Xavier Wells, traveled on 3 boats to Horn Island on July 4th. Pictured here is the large group of friends getting ready to get on the boats to head to the island submitted. All right, y'all. Okay, this being as though that this just came out, I'm going to need more information, but y'all know how I like to give it up. I like to give y'all everything that's out there, and then we'll just dissect everything later on. But I had to hit y'all with this. Let's just see what Royalty's talking about right quick.
Now, I have questions because from what the last thing that I heard per Warren, that Nolan was on leaving and went out to Horns Island on the Triton with Wyatt. That's what Warren said. And then how can the video that I just shared with you guys this morning,
okay,
how could that be Nolan in the video when Nolan is on another dock with Bart getting ready to head out there to Horns Island? Y'all, what is going on? And then Warren, I'm so confused because how are you saying?
And bitch, all you do is come on the internet searching, watching other people use other people's shit. That's right. I get commentary from other people's thoughts just like everybody else. Get your bitch ass up off my damn live, bitch. Whatever I do is my business, hoe. Bitch, I'm like that in real life, on camera and off. Go find something safe to do. Go raise them fucking kids over there. Go pray or something. Go find something else to do. We over here and enjoying ourselves. And you brought your lanky, ugly ass because they talking about them old pale face ass boys over there. Mississippi finna burn the way it should have been burned down long time ago. The ancestors are calling for it. Enough is enough. Ain't no more hanging. Y'all could go around here, all this bullshit. They got hang here. They got hang there. Don't nobody give a damn about what you talking about. We gonna talk about this until the wheels fall off. And if someone come with an opinion, I'm gonna put it on my show. Now take your dirty ass somewhere and go take a damn bath. The fuck?
That you, how is that your friend? How is that your best friend, your brother from A High, and you're nowhere in the picture? What's really going on?
Before anybody go crazy, we gonna sit down because I know people get confused between the Warren and the Wyatt. Which one is it? Which one is the Triton? Which one is the Palm Beach? Which one is the Triton? I'm gonna start writing this stuff down so we don't be confused, and we gotta start memorizing this stuff because it's all confusing.
Oh my God, guys, I just came to realization. No wonder no witnesses have came out. They're afraid. If you listen to this governor, he came out and threatened Nancy Grace and says, I hope to God nobody gets hurt because of your propaganda. Threatening her, like verbally threatening Nancy Grace.
Hold up, y'all. I want to give a shout out and a tribute to this hoe that got on my damn live mind, and I'm minding my damn business. Let me give a shout out to this ugly ass hoe. Bitch, you brought your bad built, tight motherfucking shirt on my live telling me all I do is show other people video. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you with that little bitty ass vest on, chest puffed up like a man, sitting on type of man, don't know which one is a man. The only reason why we gotta identify you because of your fucking braids. So you want it? I'm the wrong one to do it with. Do you want it? With them ugly ass, pleather ass shoes on, ho. Don't come under my live effing with me. Now I gave you a shout out, boo. Anything else you want to know that I do? Sorry, y'all, I'm finna resume. Fuck around with this hoe. All I do is this. Bitch, as long as I ain't getting in trouble, it ain't your business.
The governor of Mississippi. No wonder. This makes sense why nobody's coming out. No witnesses. They're afraid.
Imagine you growing up in Mississippi and you hearing all the stories, or even you want to come out and speak out about what happened in Nolan Wells, but you're a descendant of all the evil that's been going on, and you know about all the stories and how wicked your people is. So as I was scrolling, there's another angle of the Triton boat, y'all. Check this out.
Major fucking update in the Nolan Wells case. Y'all look, it's in the photo. Restaurant girl, we don't even care anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's the 7th person? He can't be sitting in the chair because that's allegedly Wyatt on the phone call with Cito. See the dark hair, glasses. Right here, you can see the stripes going on the side of the short. Blue above and bottom. Just like seen right here. But where the fuck is he? Dude in the red shorts allegedly was not on the boat. Where the fuck is he at? He should be right here. And then if he was right there, you'd be able to see him in this area. As you can see the pole right there. You'd be able to see him in this area or on the other side. In this area or on the others, even right here, you'd still be able to see a piece of his body. Major
So
fucking update
Brandon
in the Nolan Wells.
Brandon Tatum did say that there was an extension of the video and he chopped it off because he was trying to protect the identity of someone else. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this clip right here.
Me about this Nolan Wells case is the fact that they thought that Nolan Wells' parents would just accept the fact that they said, oh, it was a drowning, you know, and that's it. So if it was a drowning, before he started drowning, he gave y'all his keys and phone. He went for a swim, but yet they found him fully clothed, face down. That don't even make sense. And the fact that y'all not even trying to tell his mom what happened, because y'all know what happened. And that Cito call, oh man, I know they wish, they mad that whoever released that call. And then for a black woman to dissect the call and be able to hear the background noise and release it to the internet, oh, they big mad. Then these comments just lying, just making up stuff. No, it was just a drowning. It was just a drowning. Oh, okay. So if it was your son, you would accept the fact that it was a drown. It was drowning, and his friends had his phone, and they just chilling, relaxing, like nothing happened to that lady's son.
I want to see if we can get some more information on that picture that they said that Nolan Wells was with Bart on the boat with. Check this out.
Secret Service Sam here for a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and we have a new picture that has emerged. It is a whole group of people on the 4th of July getting onto what is believed to be Fart Jr.'s boat. But you know who's missing? Warren. Warren's missing because that's kind of weird. Maybe it's just me. Maybe a little birdie told me this. Yep, that little birdie of mine says that in Officer Ray Spadum Tatum's podcast, if you can call it a shitcast, that Warren said he went out on his buddy's boat. And I thought that meant Fart Jr.'s boat, but we don't see Warren here in this picture in my Nancy Grace voice. So what is going on? I am not seeing a horse dragging this cart. Is he inside? Getting White Claws? Chilled out? I don't know, bro.
So that picture is something that we may have to wait for a video to come out, because I don't know why in the previous video they stated that Nolan Wells was on the boat with Bart. So hopefully there's a video attached to it. In some cases, it usually is a video, because I don't know anybody who's just walking around snapping shots. That may be a screenshot of a video, y'all. But I did see a video earlier that was posted by someone named Sid Thomas Jr. He played in the NFL, and he did a small documentary style video on Brandon Tatum. And he deep dives into the psychological aspect of Brandon Tatum and his thought patterns. And y'all ain't gonna believe how deep the rabbit hole goes. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to the video so y'all can watch it in full. But check this out, y'all.
The most dangerous moment in a man's life is when he loses the thing that told him who he was. I've been thinking about that ever since I saw this clip of D.L. Hughley responding to Officer Tatum's perspective on the Nolan Wells case.
When you're a black man, they make you hold the shit you used to be, so it holds weight now. He was a football player and failed at that. Found his way into police work. He's always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. He's only doing what he's been trained to do.
You get you one of these Trump 2.0 shirts right now.
Only reason people on the right fuck with black people is if they safe. He looks like the kind of man that would have to marry a white woman.
And what he said is facts. And I can say that because I lived it. I understand Brandon and what he's doing.
I'm getting sick of black people, right? I like the black people like me and others that are conservative, that's smart, but the rest of y'all, I'm sick of y'all.
We were both faced with the same question that changed our lives. And looking at where his answer took him made me realize there was one question I asked myself that sent us on two completely different routes. So I was a captain at the University of Minnesota. I declared for the 2015 NFL draft, and I was drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and I was the 150th overall pick. I was on practice squad my entire rookie year, and at the end, I decided to go to the New England Patriots for my second year. And then I was released after not playing well against the Chicago Bears, and it was legitimately one of the hardest days of my life. I loved being in New England. I wanted to be on that team so bad, but it just didn't happen. I didn't play well, and it just wasn't I just didn't play well. And that was the first time I was hit with, damn, football can really end for me. This whole thing can be over. And it was tough because that was my whole identity. That's how everybody knew me from being a little boy all the way until I was 23, 24 years old, and even still now to this day. So if you're not familiar with Brandon Tatum, he's a Black conservative political commentator on YouTube. He's from Fort Worth, Texas, and went to Dunbar High School and was a legit prospect. He was an All-American and played in the U.S. Army All-American game, which is the top 78 high school players in the whole country. He then got a scholarship to the University of Arizona, where he played for 5 years. He declared for the 2010 NFL draft, only to not get drafted and not get picked up by a team. And that's where his football career ended. It was all over after the University of Arizona. So Brandon in 2010 and me in 2016 were sitting in the same place facing the same exact identity issues that brings up the question that changed our lives. After football, Brandon decided to be a cop in Tucson, Arizona. And from everything I found, he was good at what he did when he was a cop. He was a SWAT operator, a field training officer, a general instructor, and public information officer. He was on the force from 2011 to 2017, which is an interesting time because he went through Ferguson, Eric Garner, and Freddie Gray. All happened while he was there wearing that badge. Then in March 2016, Trump comes to Tucson for a rally. Tatum goes to the rally as a civilian. He doesn't go as a cop. And he posts about a 10-minute video about it.
What's going on Facebook? It's B Tatum. I'm making this video to give you guys some insight on my experience at a Donald Trump rally.
And that video gets about 1 million views. And even Trump campaign's Facebook page shares it. This is where I think he got his first hit of dope after football. And what I mean by dope, I mean dopamine. For an athlete, that's the drug. The cheers he heard came back instantly. And in some ways, I would say that this is more addictive.
I want y'all to think about the movie Him with Marlon Wayans.
Because when you leave the tunnel and you leave the field, you don't hear your name being screamed anymore. But on social media, you can constantly refresh it over and over, and you see the comments and the likes and the DMs from these people who are cheering for you, who want you to win. Then on September 24th, 2017, he posted a 7-minute video about NFL players kneeling. 2 days after the president stood on the stage in Alabama and said owners should get those players off the field.
He's going to say, that guy that disrespects our flag, he's fired.
That video does 70 million views. And of course it did. A Black man, a former football player, a working police officer, taking the other side against a Black quarterback. That was the exact voice a whole lot of people were looking for and couldn't do themselves. 1 month after that video, October 2017, he resigns from the police department. From there, he signs with Liftable Media, which runs the Western Journal and the Conservative Tribune. Turning Point USA hires him at the end of March of 2018 as Director of Urban Engagement. Then he does Blexit with Candace Owens, and then by late 2019, he's out on his own with his own media company, where now he's amassed over north of 8 million followers. He got an alley-oop from everybody. And look, I'm not saying he didn't earn anything. Nothing about his story says that he's lazy or he doesn't work hard. But the work isn't the part that stuck with me. It's the lane that he chose. When this stuff shows up in my feed, it's almost always a story about Black people, and it's almost always the worst version of it. That became the job. He's the guy who says the thing about Black folks that a certain crowd can't say out loud themselves. That's what I couldn't get past. And the more I looked at how he got there, the more I realized I know exactly where it started, because it started in the same place for me. When football ended, I didn't know it yet, but I was about to choose my whole life with one question. I did not ask, what do I like doing? I asked myself, what did I like doing? What do I like doing isn't a bad question. It's just the wrong question at that specific moment when you're transitioning, trying to figure out who you are. Because when you ask, what do I like doing? You're looking outwardly and you're looking to figure out what do you like doing and grasping on the things that you think are just for you. And when you ask, what do I like doing? It automatically makes you do that. It makes you look outward. What did I like doing is the right question because it makes you look internally. It makes you think about who you were before somebody told you who you are, before the number that they gave you.
So the link will be in the description for that breakdown. And what he goes into is that if you're doing this for the wrong reasons, you're going to lose yourself behind it. Where you initially started from and you had a love for something, but you don't continue as that, you're going to lose yourself along with your morals and your purpose and your integrity. So to break it all down, he's saying that Brandon Tatum is doing what he's doing for money. He's doing it for the dopamine rush, because that's what athletes like. They like that rush of the notoriety and being known and people screaming your name. And being as though that Brandon Tatum had left football, left being a police officer, he held on to anything that involves people cheering his name. Even though his own community is not cheering his name, there is a side that he's speaking up for that's cheering his name. We need you, Brandon. We'll give you all the views, all the likes, everything you need. All you do is have to speak and say the things that we can't come out and say. And now y'all see where the mindset of Brandon Tatum is. Shout out to this brother for breaking down Brandon Tatum. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. Y'all make sure y'all watch that video in full, because it gets way deeper than that. But y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Carmelo Anthony, and let me know what y'all think about these new photos. Do y'all think that it's a video attached that shows Nolan with Fart? Is Fart, because remember, Fart said he was in Wyoming somewhere in the beginning. So now all of a sudden you lowering up and you was around and you got the string from your boat to his boat, and now things are starting to look like an alibi. But y'all get in the comment section.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna do my last thing with Carmelo Anthony, because I want to understand what's happening, but which I do. I understand that they had to ask for a new trial. They had to get a lot of stuff on record so it can go to the appellate court. So I get what they did, and it's cool. I never believed that that judge was gonna give him a new trial. Just didn't believe it. They are friends. That's just how it works. But I'm finna see what
of the not guilty boys, and they're gonna break it down for you all, because don't count Carmelo out because his attorneys, they bad. I guess some of you guys are maybe feeling some kind of a way about some things that you have heard as it relates to the Carmelo Anthony case. We are still team Carmelo Anthony. We don't give a damn about no juvenile shit that whatever they said Carmelo was texting. And if you grown, you shouldn't care either. Okay. What grown ass lady should be concerned whether if not Carmelo said he liked wigs or not? I don't understand it. Some of y'all are very weird. I've learned that, you internet folks is weird as hell. Okay. Because I don't understand why grown ass 50 old ass women, 60 and even 40 and 30, why are you hoes concerned about if Carmelo liked chicks with wigs or not? Okay. Are you bald headed under your wig? What's your problem? But anywho, I don't give a damn about any of that. But what I want you all to understand is Carmelo has some badass attorneys and they know exactly what they're doing. Let's get into this. Okay. I feel like I should have been an attorney, and I told y'all that I'm working on I'm trying to figure out how this is going to play into my life, because I am definitely strongly considering law school, but I need to add it into my busy life. Okay. But yes, I want to do that. I want you guys to understand something. Judge Roach took the transcripts. I'm sorry, he didn't take the transcripts. He stopped the transcripts from being produced because what he wanted to do was prevent Carmelo Anthony from getting an appeal, because he knew that the transcripts would have been required. But his attorneys outsmarted the Roach, okay? They went and got sworn statements. They also got his previous attorney to get on the stand. But you guys need to understand, He did not get a new trial. He lost it. But did you all expect those white tea people to stand up for injustice of Black people? I want you all to stop wanting to feel accepted by white people and just love you for who you are, okay? I want y'all to understand that was a strategic move that his attorneys used. I want y'all to understand with this gentleman agreement, there was nothing on the record, nothing. Mike Howard, given that sworn that sworn statement stating what happened, and now we got Mike Howard that had to get on the stand. We got the district attorney that had to get on the stand. Now you know what has happened is now a record has been created when there was no record. Remember, guys, this gentleman agreement was never on the record, okay? Now there is a record of this. So what his attorneys did was very freaking strategic, and they deserve all the credit because now all of that is now a part of the record. Not only is that a part of the record, the lies are a part of the record. And when I say lies, I'm gonna get into one because you all need to do better, especially when you're reporting about real issues, okay? These are real issues that affect people's lives. Some of you idiots are out there calling Carmelo a stalker, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself, especially when you ugly, okay? Because some of y'all is just ugly, and I mean ugly in here, and you have the nerve to be on here talking about a 19-year-old with your ugly self, talking about he's a stalker. You don't even know what's going on. You wasn't at court. I wasn't at court either, but I know the game that these people play. If Carmelo was such a stalker, the girlfriend that they claim he was stalking was in court supporting the family, and she also was there to testify because the district attorney lied, and that's all he does is lie. Now, some of y'all is running with this narrative, oh, Carmelo said this, he said that. Do you have kids or, young adults, kids or 19, 20-year-olds, they're on the game, they yelling out all type of shit. I be hearing my son, shit. I'm like, boy, are you okay? So they're in the game. How would you like to die? That's part of the game. It's, you're in the game. So to try to drag another Black child, because he's still a damn child, you are sick and I don't like you, okay? I don't like you because there's nothing more sicker than a grown-ass person that's farting out dust coming for our Black kids, okay? So let me make sure you idiots understand, because I know you just got to get the clicks and the views because you uneducated. You can't get a job. You can't do nothing else, okay? Thank God for this whole internet, because if it wasn't for the internet, some of y'all will be on the streets, okay? I don't give a damn if you like what I say. I say what I want to say. So let's get into the strategics about what Carmelo's attorney did. Carmelo's attorney got this on the record, which it was never a part of the record. Not only did he get everything on the record, the lies, the contradictions are also a part of the the record. Now, we started to talk about Carmelo's girlfriend. The reason why I wanted to bring that up is because that seems like the narrative that you nincompoops are running with, which is a lie. That young lady was in court, and she, if you were there, okay, or if you have the transcripts, they stated that they had spoke to her and she gave them a statement. And this is one thing about liars. It will come out. The truth will come out. And then after he was on stand, Bill stated he had never talked to her. Do y'all see how this works? So it proves right there that he put together false information, because this whole entire thing was a corruption, and it was RICO. Judge Roach needs to go to prison. The district attorney needs to go to prison. Now, I am going to give Mike Howard some kind of leeway because I don't know what his thought process was. I wasn't there, but at least he did come forward and set the record straight. Some of y'all may say, oh no, he was in on it too. I mean, I can agree to that as well. But at the end of the day, I want you all to know that Carmelo has a better chance now than he ever had, because now we even had the district attorney to say that, listen, we always make deals off the record. You might be doing things that's unconstitutional, but that don't make it legal, okay? It doesn't make it legal. Also, I want you guys to understand, I was told that that judge was definitely leaning toward giving Carmelo a new trial. And I was told that all these different folks start coming in this courtroom. So something happened with this judge that his posture changed. And toward the end, he was like, well, just give me this stuff or give me what you guys have. I got to go and I'll send it through email. But guess what? Carmelo will come home. He will come home. So I want you all to know that what Carmelo Anthony's legal team just did was freaking genius. Freaking genius, because keep in mind, none of this information was a part of the record. What Russell Wilson and his team just did is they established a paper trail for everything they're going to use to overturn this verdict. And I feel like everything that happened, that they're going to just dismiss it, which means Carmelo is going to walk away free. He'll walk away with a free record because of the corruption that was happening in this case. This isn't, y'all got to understand, we are people, we make mistakes. This case was not a mistake. This was, we're going to put this boy in prison for 35 years. We're going to close the court. They did all of these things. Now, you know, some people say, okay, well, they closed the court because of the public. I want y'all to understand this. They could have closed the court. The thing that they did wrong is they forgot to put it on the record, and then they forgot, or I'm not going to say they forgot, they just didn't follow the law. So it doesn't matter what you did or why you did it. The case in point is you didn't follow the law. So make sure you guys are back here today, Sunday, August 23rd at 2:45 Eastern time. And we'll have none other than the Not Guilty boys, Mike and Drew. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And I will put some information in the description on how you can support the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Looking for a K-12 education that goes beyond the textbook, right from the comfort of home? Welcome to a new standard of online learning.
Beyond general education, our students dive into specialized virtual labs for real-world job readiness. Genealogy lab, historical lab, civil law, and our media and public speaking lab.
We prepare global citizens with immersive Spanish and French language tracks. And because we're proudly Florida-based and Step Up certified, families can access the elite education through state scholarship programs.
Diverse representation, academic excellence, and career readiness, delivered entirely online, wherever you are. Secure your child's spot today. Secure your child's spot today. Visit our website to enroll.